Everyone's always complaining about how gaming is way too commercialized and how there's way too many microtransactions, live service games, and just tactics wanting to steal your money. And if that's the case, then what do you call this? Hey there, viewer, Ron speaking, and I think this is probably the greatest thing I've ever found at a thrift store. Skylanders Giants. Just all of it. You guys remember Skylanders? I mean, you were alive. If you were alive in the 2010s, of course you do. Even if you didn't play it, you saw all the commercials, you saw your friends had it or something, you really wanted it, and then you grew up and realized how much of a scam this actually was. So, before I go into how I found all this, let me just talk about my history with Skylanders. What I just described is basically what's my experience. I saw all the commercials, saw all the toys everywhere at Toys R Us and Walmart and all that. I remember watching this YouTuber, EvanTubeHD. I don't know if you guys remember him. He was like our generation's Ryan's toy reviews, except his parents weren't abusive, as far as I know. And yeah, he would talk about, he would mostly Angry Birds channel, but would delve into other things like Legos and Skylanders. And I thought this was the coolest thing in the world. I mean, I could take these toys and transport them into the game. Awesome! And then a couple of my friends started getting these, and I'd play it at their house every now and then. Or at the very least, they'd show me the toys they had, and everybody would be collecting them and thought they were really cool. And then every company wanted to have their own Toys to Life thing, and then the fad died out, and now this is all just a bunch of useless plastic. And yeah, eventually, I grew up and realized how much of a scam this actually was. Just wanted to squeeze every last dollar out of you, or your parents, rather, because what parent would want to play this? Or what adult would want to play this at the time, unless they were making a YouTube video for children. I remember Stampy Longhead had a whole Skylanders Trap Team Let's Play, and then only looking back, then I must have realized he's only doing this for his child audience, because if he had his own way, there was no way he would fall for this. But anyway, so how I found this, I was just browsing the thrift store one day like I normally do. I was just looking for DVDs, but the thrift store that I found, there's a couple nearby, and I don't want to say the name of it for fear of doxing myself, because I don't know if it's a wide brand or just this one area, but they had gotten a lot of new stuff. Somebody donated a crap ton of Legos and Hot Wheels and stuff. And what I found was this complete, I just have the box right now, but this complete Skylanders Giants starter pack for only $9. And it came with everything. The game, the portal, all the papers, everything. And I'm like, I know this is dumb. I know nobody cares about Skylanders unless I grew up with it. But I really wanted to try this just to make my 8-year-old self happy. Kind of like with the Monster Jam games or Tom and Jerry War of the Whiskers. Games that I know aren't very good, but I really wanted them as a kid. So I bought them just for closure, I guess. And I wasn't planning on getting any other figures because I knew how much they'd fill up my room. And as we'll see when I actually demonstrate the game, my room is the definition of making do with what I have. But I was back at that same thrift store about a week later, and just out of curiosity was digging through their toy bin because they had the starter ones here, but did they have any others? And my guess is that somebody must have donated it all at once. Like somebody who had Skylanders just donated all their old stuff because they didn't want it anymore. And I found a ton of other only 7 other figures, but still a lot more than I would have expected. So now I have a solid enough library of toys as a 20-year-old. I didn't remember some of their names. So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly go over the figures I got. Obviously, let's start with the starter pack. Got Tree Rex, the only life Skylander I have. You'll see it later when I'm showing that these do in fact work, and then I'm not bullcrapping you. I don't know why you would think I'm lying because they're right here, but you know how some people are. The lighting mechanisms still work. If you put them on the portal, they still light up. Everything about them still lights up. Cinder, one of the last remaining elements of the Spiral franchise before the Skylanders series kind of took it over like a leech. I don't have the Spiral figure yet. I plan to at least get that one, if anything else. And Jetpack. Yeah, looking back, some of these names kind of sucked. And some of their phrases kind of sucked too. But yeah, those are the starter guys. These are the only people you really need to get through the game. The way the game is designed, it kind of taking into consideration that the kid can't get every single toy. And so they might very well only have one Skylander. So all the stuff that you need a specific element for are usually optional, just under the assumption that they don't have it. But these are the ones I found in my second run. We got Pop Fizz. I remember I really liked this guy from the YouTube videos I would watch. I don't know why I liked him so much. Eruptor. He was kind of the face of Skylanders. He was one that was always on boxes for everything. I did not remember this person's name. Her name was Whirlwind, I think. I did not remember this one at all. I think this guy, Prism Break. Oh yeah, I remember they have subsets of the toys as well, just to really wring your parents' wallets dry. So these are the light core ones where they light up after you put them on, even though the Giants do that normally. And I don't know if there's any stat differences or what. Also, these are used, so they do have hats and upgrades on them already. I'm not gonna bother resetting them because I don't know how much more of these I'm gonna get. I thought this guy's name was Hornet, but it's just Swarm. And that's what I'm saying. These names kind of suck. They're just descriptions of the character. They don't feel like actual character names. Like this guy, he's just this golem dude, and his name is Crusher. I didn't remember this guy at all either. And then this guy's Hothead. Like, how much more basic could you get? But these are still cool to finally own. Even if I don't have a lot of these. I don't plan on getting that many more for the Giants anyway, because again, I don't have a lot of room. And just finding them at that thrift store, I got really lucky. Again, that was about $10. And these guys, what's the sticker on them? They're about $3 each, but she sold them to me for $1 each, I think. Because I spent like 18 bucks total, and that was along with some other DVDs I found. So yeah, so let's actually get into demonstrating what I've done in the game so far. Okay, I got the game ready. Please excuse my absolute mess of a gaming setup, or DVD setup, or whatever. Here we are. And yeah, the only box they had was the Wii version, which I know is probably one that doesn't run very well, but this is the only console I have that could run this game. Except maybe the Xbox One, I don't know. There I am, save game, Skylanders, 8% complete, because I haven't gone very far. I'm filming this with one hand while having to record it play at the same time. So something interesting I found about this portal here is that you don't actually have to place it on, because it detects it as after a certain distance. Here. There we go. Pop Fizz, the alcoholic. Yeah, I'm running around. I gotta... Yeah, sorry about that. I had to actually get a camera set up, and I don't have any sort of capture card right now, so I can't capture gameplay footage off of a Wii. But this is the best I could do, and if you saw how I'm propping this tripod up, you would think I'm a crazy person. But yeah, so this home... It's a Wii, so it's not running very well here. I noticed it only runs where decently in very... Like here, it runs fine in very small spaces where not a lot is happening, but during gameplay where you're actually fighting enemies, it tends to stutter a lot. And yeah, again, this is the Wii version, so that's what I was expecting. But this is the only version that their store had, so just when you don't have millions of dollars to spend on HG upscalers or whatever, you make do with what you have, alright? But yeah, it's all here, it all works well. The figures, despite being 10 years old or more than that still work perfectly fine, even with the sticker. Yeah, see, they're Swarm. This is the guy with the sombrero I was talking about. I think all of them have some sort of hat that the previous owner put on them. I don't know if they had a nickname, though, because I kind of didn't bother. The biggest thing that annoys me so far about the game is there's no jumping, which I know was in the first one, and they didn't add that till Swap Force. But what? Why is there no jumping? So I'm assuming Activision had that decision to not Toys for Bob, the developers. But do they not think that kids know how jumping works, so they cut it out for more easy gameplay? Even though kids have been pressing the jump button in video games for 30 years at this point, so why can't I jump? Even the flying ability that this guy has, it just makes you go faster. It doesn't fly over obstacles. And so many of the game's obstacles would be no problem if I could just jump. And yeah, they're designed around it, but if you had to go through all those hurdles to make the not jumping work, then why didn't you add jumping? Why do you think kids can't jump? And even aside from that, the levels are extremely basic, which is, this is a kid's game, because only kids are gonna fall for any of this, and how, ooh, the magic of sticking this gremlin and putting on this gremlin, ooh. Sorry, I dropped it. Dang it. Okay.
The beam is supreme.
Light core. I don't know what light core does in terms of gameplay. It just, it lights up when you're placing it on the pole. I do like this guy's gimmick, placing the crystals, and you can strategically blast multiple enemies.
Come see me when you're ready to...
I like some of the guy's abilities. They're pretty cool, and I feel like you can, if they were a bit more varied, you can, a bit more strategy would be involved other than just pressing 3 buttons over and over. But that's kind of what the combat devolves into, at least here. This is the only one I've been able to play. I haven't gotten the rest of them. But yeah, a lot of it just devolves into...
I'm on fire!
That's a terrible tagline. Just devolves into pressing 3 buttons until the other things die. Yeah, let's get into an actual level for a little bit, just to show you what I mean.
I'm officially freezing here, and that means we've made it to the frozen wasteland. So you're ready to head down and find that robot?
Yes, I am, Joe Swanson. I don't know why Patrick Warburton was in everything and also does the same voice for every single character he plays.
Do you think you could have parked your robot in a colder place?
Not a choice in the matter. Here's the thing is haunted. Kept yapping at me, so I got rid of it. It's safe enough. Only thing here are those foul ice ogres, but they're too mushy-headed to figure out how to use it anyway. But it's around here somewhere. You'll find him. That's the thing about giant robots. You always find them.
Ah, that sounds great, and kind of weird. But I think the Skylander can handle this one. I'm gonna hang back and keep Callie warm.
Yeah, all that hot air ought to keep you nice and warm.
So, yeah, you can really tell this game was made with the intention that, or the understanding that you could be playing as any Skylander at any point. So the dialogue when referring to Skylanders is incredibly vague. They just say, the Skylander.
That was really nice of you. Most people just ignore me. I think because they are afraid of ghosts. I don't mean to bother anyone. I'm just cold and lonely out here. I used to live inside a giant robot. You might even say I was the giant robot. But I was abandoned. Want to see it? Come on, this way.
Okay, I guess I'm doing that now.
You need a magic Skylander to unlock this.
But, yeah, like I was saying, it's incredibly vague. And see, this part I need a magic Skylander, which I just so happen to have here. Pop Fizz. But they know that they can't guarantee that a kid would have that with them. So all the stuff that you need not included characters for is optional stuff. And yeah, all this pushing block stuff. Like, it would be so much easier to design levels where I could just jump. Oh, and because it's the Wii game, you know, gotta make very phallic hand motions to do anything. Sure, doesn't have a hat yet. So yeah, again, some of the characters' gimmicks are pretty cool. Like, I like this guy's switching between an exploding potion, a homing potion, and a trap potion, basically, and his evil transformation here. But because none of the battle encounters are all that interesting, it just doesn't
But you can melt it.
It doesn't really matter. Just press the buttons and win, which I guess you can see for any beat 'em up, but
using that method, you're going to love this.
yeah, and they're doing very simple things like that, which I get, it's a kids game, and I mean kids, not families, but I should probably stop talking while the other guys are talking.
Uh-oh, we've upset Noodles. The ice ogres think my robot body is their new master ever since I was left here in the cold. It's not evil, or anything, really. Noodles is just crazy.
And I can tell they're trying to have funny writing, because some of the jokes they say are kind of funny. Air. Yeah, this is really annoying where you're like, oh, your Skylander is weak all of a sudden, so you need to switch to this guy that you may or may not even enjoy playing as.
Twists of fury!
Does her face look like a grandma? So I'm pressing A, and then he says something.
Destroy Snowman too. Those were also for the great evil Ice Master. Call it all snow clopsies. Teach this ice melting snowman breaker a lesson.
And then I spit a fart cloud. And then I guess they haven't unlocked the third ability for them yet. Oh, I leveled up, yay! You've got RPG elements here too. I have yet to actually die to any of these guys. Because, again, kids game, it's really easy. And I suck at video games most of the time. Even games I enjoy, I die a handful of times before I'm able to actually complete it. But this is really rudimentary. I'm not going to be completing this entire level, so I was just showing you that everything works. The thrift store wasn't ripping me off or anything. Everything works as it should. It's just... I'm gonna pause it for a bit. So it's really cool to finally own this, but I can kind of see why these games died out after a while. They're extremely simple. They're very obviously a scam. So I'm glad I got this for my childhood self, and I will complete this game eventually. And if I were to get another Skylanders game, it'd probably be Swap Force, because that's the one I wanted the most. That's not the one I found here, so... And the ones I found on eBay are over $100, because I guess people are nostalgic for these and everyone wants them now. I was really lucky finding this at a thrift store. I can definitely see why this excited kids back in the day, because the concept is undeniably cool. Taking these toys and transporting them to game to play as them, and then when you're done with the game, you can still, the fun is still there. You can play and have them fight each other, or go on your little adventures, or make little YouTube videos with these guys, which I think a lot of people did back in the day, like plush tubers and such. So I see the value here, but as an adult, you can kind of see the problem, and this was probably what led to things like microtransactions and stuff, companies trying to squeeze every last dollar out of you. But I do think this is a better way of doing that than most, because again, you have something physical to play around with, or display, or again, make YouTube videos. Yeah, you can do things with these, even if they're not articulated, and if you tried to move them around, they snap in half or something. But yeah, it's cool to finally own this and fulfill another childhood dream of mine. I just don't think the game is all that great. This, especially since I don't actually have any nostalgic connection aside from seeing these guys in stores and just desperately longing for them. Oh, mother, may I please have these? But, yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't fall into this because my mom would have had to... I don't know, she would have... Her wallet would have been sucked dry. Not that it already wasn't because of my obsession with Monster Jam toys, but those were about $4 a pop. This is a whole video game you have to keep buying stuff for. But if you're nostalgic for these guys, I'm not saying your childhood is invalid or anything. I definitely see the value and the nostalgic connections people have and why this was so special to them back in the day. But after every company started doing it, the fad really died out. But that's all I wanted to show. I will be finishing this game eventually. But I might resell this all on eBay once I'm done because I can't imagine this will last me very long. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video showing all that off. What are your experiences with Skylanders? Did you like them? Did you hate the concept of it? Did you have these as a kid? Did you want these? I'm just wondering if anybody remembers these guys. But until the next time I decide to upload, see you, viewer.